Hey guys, we are live. Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast. I'm Zach Yin, your host. I quitted my minimum wage bag boy job to pursue the riches of real estate investing at the age of 17 and never looked back. I'm here to educate and inform entrepreneurs, young and old, how to become complete real estate investors by talking to the best and most influential minds of real estate. I am joined by both members of Wholesalementrary, Marshall Williams and Rico Brooks. Marshall's been a real estate investor for about a year now in wholesaling, coming back from over 21 years of business experience. And he's joined by Rico Brooks, who has 6 years of real estate wholesaling experience. And they are just doing so good in the Fayetteville, North Carolina market. I had to bring them on and talk about why they're so successful. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's get this started out in the beginning. So what is your story and how did you guys both individually get started in real estate investing and wholesaling specifically?
I guess you could say, man, I was just working, a regular job, 12-hour shifts. And, man, I just felt like I was more than that, I always wanted to get into real estate, didn't know how. I always seemed, while at the job, that was like my motivation. At the house, I'm cool, I'm resting, but at the job, I was like, man, I don't want to be here.
What were you doing?
I'm sorry?
What were you doing?
Oh, I built tires. I worked at Goodyear.
Oh, wow.
I actually made tires, man. Yeah. So it was,
cool.
Man, it was treacherous out there, man. But yeah, man, I would listen in on like podcasts like Sean Terry, man, and that guy motivated me like crazy, right? And I think I listened to like every episode like 4 times. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take action, man. This guy says put out bandit signs and I'm gonna do it. So I done it, right? And literally my phone blew up, man. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, man. I just took it one step at a time. I reached out at that time to another wholesaler, man, and we started closing deals. So that's how I got into wholesaling about 6 years.
Okay. And so that was in 2014?
Yep. 2014.
Okay. And so how did you get your first deal then?
Man, so my first deal, right, was it was a burnt house right next to the VA hospital, man. And I got it under contract, I think initially at $6,000, right? And my partner's like, "Oh man, that's too much, man. We gotta renegotiate." I'm like, "Man, I don't know how to like renegotiate, man. You gotta hold my hand, And so we went back and renegotiated down to like 2,500. And he's like, "All right, man. Now we gotta find a buyer, right?" The source was bandit signs, by the way. Found the buyer. Well, my partner found a buyer. The guy ended up buying for $9,000. Completely burnt house, And I was just like, man, what is he gonna do? But he ended up selling that land to the VA hospital. I think he had interconnection with the VA hospital, so it worked out for him. It worked out for us. Everybody was happy.
Wow. So let's bring it over to Marshall here. So how did you get started in real estate investing then?
Pretty much just kind of stumbled upon it. I've started so many businesses, so it was about that time for me to start a new business. So I was just watching The Breakfast Club, like a radio show, and a guy, Mark Whitten, was on there. And he started talking about wholesale. I said, wow, that sounds pretty interesting. I'm already looking for another business to get into. So I watched him, then I went on YouTube and looked up real estate wholesaling, and all these other people popped up. So I just started like a few months just watching those videos. So finally I was like, okay, I'm ready to start this thing. So just from previous business experience, I always kind of start building relationships first and networking. So I went around and seen about 4 or 5 bandit signs, called them up. Actually, Rico is the only one that responded out of that. So, we talked and we decided to meet, which is a fun story.
It's a crazy story, man.
Since it's your side, I'll let you tell.
Yeah, man. So right? You know, when putting out bandit signs, you know, the city frowns upon it, right? Uh, when he called, I was like, yes, man. You know, hey, how's it going? He was like, hey, man, my name's Marshall, and man, his enunciation is like so proper, right? I mean, it's like super country proper, you know. So I was like, yeah, man, let's meet up. But I was getting scared. I was like, man, maybe he's the code
I'd be
enforcement,
scared.
man. I was like, oh man. so I'm like staking out the place, like trying to see who it is. Like, is this policeman or whoever it is, the code enforcer? So I kind of ghosted him like a week or two, you know, like, yeah, let's be here. And I'm trying to see who he was. But something told me, man, I just went with my gut feeling, man. Something told me to just, you know, meet up with him. And I'm glad I did, man, because we're killing it right now. So,
Yeah,
That's
we
great.
watched what each other had to say,
yeah.
and yeah, we jumped on it, man. I have my experience. He has his experience. Um, you know, I've learned a lot from him over the last year because I learned a lot. I guess the basics from YouTube, but you know, his 6 years experience, I had to learn the finer points and what to do in certain situations that you would never see on on the YouTube
Oh yeah.
channel.
Who's your who are some of the guys you saw on YouTube that helped you a lot starting out?
After I seen Mark Whitten,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Yeah, Max Maxwell, Sean Terry. Actually, the first guy, was the Flip Man.
Yeah, Ty.
After Mark Whitten. I bought his little course and went through it, and then those probably the main guys.
He looked like the Flip Man.
You're killing me with that. But yeah, just pretty much just watching. Those were the main ones, and then I just came across other people, and then like I say, I was just ready to make that jump. And like I said, I called Rico on that bandit sign. He's the only one that called me back, and we just went from there.
Wow. Are you guys in the same market as Max Maxwell?
He's about hour and a half away in
Okay.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Yep.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, he's a great guy. Always trying to get him on the podcast too, but you know, we're still trying to build that story going on here. So that's cool. So what was your first deal then?
Actually, my first deal was from driving for dollars. When I came aboard, I was pretty much obsessed with driving for dollars. I started on one side of the city and drove every nook and cranny, every street till I got to the other side. And then I didn't ever do a deal, I guess, purely by myself because I was already teamed up with Rico. But yeah, my first two deals that I was part of came from driving for dollars. The first one was 7,000, and then the second one was Simon fee, and then the second one was I think it was 18,000. So
Okay.
pretty much.
And so you guys starting out here, obviously it wasn't all upwards. I mean, what were some of the early struggles you guys had starting out in the business?
I would probably say just getting the system together, learning each other. But even that didn't take long, man, because our energy is like it pings off one another. It's almost like we're joined at the hip, man. Like what he's thinking, I'm thinking. I'm like, oh man, you know, like we're literally texting at the same time, and he'll send his out, and I'll send mine out, and I'm like, oh man, we texting at the same time. But probably in the early stages, probably just figuring out each other, trying to get comfortable with each other and things like that. But really no obstacles, man. To be honest with you, really, you know, nothing major.
Yeah. And I guess also with me, got those deals quickly. And again, I had a veteran on my team, so that helped. But I guess the first deal, like when a buyer, I'm like, man, this is, all roses, getting all these deals. And then I guess the first time when a buyer backed out like at the last minute, I was like, oh, I've heard about that, but never experienced it. I was like, oh man, we had a deal. Oh man, so it's kind of never experienced it, in wholesaling. So, but it's nature of the game, But other than that, yeah, pretty smooth.
Okay. So how is your business structured now? So is someone specifically doing marketing and visionary stuff and someone doing implementation? What's the whole structure going on now?
Right. Pretty much, he does the negotiations and over that whole department, and I'm over all the marketing. That's everything from pushing out to the sellers, all the marketing with that, cash buyers, social media, all of that. So that's how, and then of course we have our team under us, but that's kind of how we split the departments up.
So you have other people on the team too.
Right.
Okay, so who else is on your team?
Uh,
We have an assistant that we have a full-time assistant that pretty much handles like emails, some inbound calls, just organizing everything like podio, um, appointments, you name it, man. Then we have a part-time assistant that I want to say you can say she's like a slash cold caller. She does make some follow-up calls. So sometimes we're swamped, man. Um, she builds she does the qualification on some of our properties or some of our leads. Yeah, man. And then I pretty much, if it's a hot lead, I pretty much just jump right in, man, and take it over from there. If it's a qualified lead, we have a guy that we're trying to bring into training right now on the acquisition side. He goes out on appointments with me and things like that, so he's still in training. But one of our goals is to pretty much have this company on autopilot and pull ourselves out. Um, and then the deposition side is a whole nother thing too, man. I haven't really assigned nobody to that, but our full-time assistant, man, has been just like really just taking over that load, man, on the deposition side, man. He's coming in strong, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. He takes a load off of she takes a load off of me because sometimes it's tough, man, trying to keep the seller and the buyer happy once you got it under contract, man. The seller's like, yo, we're supposed to close. Like, you told us last week. And I'm like, yo, just hang on, there was a mix up in paperwork or something. So she pretty much keeps, she's the glue, man, when it comes to the deposition side, man. And communicating with the attorney slash title company, stuff like that. So, but that's pretty much our team, man. We do have a couple of cold callers, um, which we're probably going to be getting more now due to the coronavirus now. But it's just part of the game, man. Evolving, as things happen.
Definitely. I mean, this whole coronavirus thing's definitely thrown a loop on us. It's definitely crazy. We've definitely transitioned more into doing a lot of land deals and a lot of deals that are just really, really fat margins. And we've been having success with that. When things change, we're obviously going to go a lot more on the creative side that we've done in the past. So are you guys exclusively doing wholesaling, or are you doing other avenues too?
No, man. We do subject twos, right? We do lease with options to purchase, um, and we'll do contract for deeds. Yeah, I think we got a contract for deed. Yeah, we got a contract for deed going on this week, man. Closing this week. Um, yeah, man. Hey, forgot about that, bro. But yeah, we do a lot of creative strategies, man. I'm trying to jump in to learn more about raps. So I'm getting a little educated on that side. But yeah, man, we try to find a solution for every lead we come across.
Okay.
Pretty much, we do have a solution. It's just getting the seller to okay.
Okay. And are you guys actually holding those creative deals, or are you actually trying to wholesale those out?
If they're good, I mean, if it's like too good to be true, we'll hang on to them, man. But most of the time, we'll just assign them to someone else.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're looking into now. I mean, we got a couple of lease options. We got now cash, like they're going to cash flow like 800 a month, just like net, and we don't want to sell them. It's just too good to be true. You put $5,000 into it and you get like what, 8 times 12. I mean, you almost get like $8,000 after everything. It's insane. So things like that's where we're looking more towards in this future. I mean, in the future here with your business, I mean, are you looking to do more wholesales, or are you going to try to transition into more creative then? Or is just take it as it is?
Yeah, pretty much all of it. Like I said, we're just trying to increase deals as much as possible, and
Hmm.
the situation will pretty much dictate where that particular deal goes. So the whole vision is just pretty much scale across the nation. We're moving into some other cities now, so yeah, that'll pretty much dictate what direction we go in.
Okay, so you are doing you're starting to do virtual deals?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And have you had success with that yet?
Yes, we have actually.
Well,
Really, a really nice one. Should be, I guess, by next week.
this week.
Oh, that's close this week.
This week.
Oh,
Friday,
okay. Yeah. $50,000 assignment fee from another state.
Yeah.
And we got some other ones under contract from other states. So it's been about a month. Now.
About a month. Yeah.
Yep. Been reaching out. So yeah, I mean, our vision is to be pretty much in every city eventually across the United States, whenever that may be. So,
That's the goal, man.
yeah.
Wow, that's cool. I mean, we've got a future Keegley over here, which is awesome. So yeah. I talked to Jamil. He's a real nice guy. So it seems like exactly what you're trying to do, which is cool.
Yeah,
So a question I get from a lot of our students is when you're doing virtual deals, obviously it's not the same as being in person, building that rapport. So how do you build rapport on these virtual appointments to get those really good spreads?
As far as building rapport with the seller or with the partner that we're
with the seller. So are you taking these down over the phone?
Yeah, so most of the time, it's like a JV partnership on most.
Oh,
of
okay.
them. On most of them, yeah. There's certain cities that we market in where we deal directly with the seller. But most of the time it's a JV partnership. But like the one that we're closing on the $50,000 assignment, that's actually one of the cities that we've actually reached out to the seller. And it just so happened with that one, man, the seller had I don't know if it was truly an investor or wholesaler or what they or a buyer or what, but she just had a real bad experience, with another investor, and I was just telling her like, hey, we'll have the title company follow up with you. You'll be in the email with us, the correspondence. Everything will be transparent. From day one, I'll speak nothing but the truth, and all the way to the finish line. We're going to buy your property. So she really entrusted me. Just maybe 2 or 3 conversations over the phone. Just saying the same stuff like that, and then she's like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I think it really hit home is when we put her in correspondence with the title company. She was like, oh yeah, they're really serious. So yeah, getting the title company involved really helped out as well.
Okay. And how do you find the buyer on that virtual deal then?
So one of our methods on a virtual deal, if we haven't already built a buyers list in that city, which we pretty much got them nationwide, man, to be honest with you. But if we haven't already built or we don't have enough buyers in that city per se, what we'll do is we'll reach out to realtors. Realtors hoard buyers, man. And in today's market, a deal right now is like, yo, I need it. Everybody's like, I need it. So believe it or not, man, I'm just being honest, man. There's still people out there buying, wanting to do flips, and even with what's going on in the market now or what's going on in the world today. So yeah, mainly we reach out to realtors.
Yeah, I mean, realtors are that is true. They do hoard buyers. I figured that one out. I reached out to one realtor and I thought she had 2 buyers. She had like 20 in like Miami, and it was literally insane. Because in our market, in Miami, the average house is like 400 to 500 grand, maybe 300. Ours is like, I'm selling them for like 70. So these Miami guys are coming up, and she brought like 10 people, didn't speak a lick of English up here. They're looking for investment properties, and it was just, it's insane. But realtors, like I've gotten in contact with this whole coronavirus, like talking like 5 a day, and I'm just building that buyers list up too.
Yeah.
So that's how we're developing our skills with that. But I mean, just on your side, Rico, I mean, you're very good at talking to people, in person, all over the phone. I mean, how do you develop those skills?
Through failure, man. Through failure, man. I'm just being honest. It wasn't always my strong point. When I first started out, my strong point was getting the deal in through marketing, and then my previous partner would close them. And then eventually, if I wanted to progress on my own, I would have to learn it, man. So just stepping out there, man. And through failure, man. Getting slammed hard. Like, man, you told me this, you told me that, and just learning. So that's pretty much how I got good. And I don't know, man. People like gravitate towards me. I don't know if it's my energy or what, but I could just put my ear right here on my shoulder and people will talk to it, like nonstop, So I use that to my advantage as well, man. And I really listen to what people have to say, and then, they prove. I'm not trying to like be a snake or nothing. I'm really trying to fix problems. Even my wife's like, sometimes I just want you to listen. I don't want you to always fix my problems. I just need you to listen. So, but it's true, man. So I use that to my advantage, I guess you could say, man, that I'm a good listener. It helps me with my negotiation.
I definitely agree. I mean, a big pet peeve I do have with a lot of these wholesalers out here, especially in our market, the difference between me and the average wholesaler is I'm not a slick salesman. When I see people like you and me going on appointments, like I'm talking to them, like I'm nice, I care about them, I listen. These other guys are coming in like slick salesmen, and they tell them exactly what they want to hear. They're very sharp-witted. Like people get scared from that, and I think it's something people really need to start understanding, that you can be the nice, slick salesman, but if you come in there just as a genuine, nice person, wearing like a collared shirt or something, not a suit or something, and pulling up, in these crazy nice cars, you can do a lot better. But I mean, this brings me back here to Marshall. So how did you develop your skills in the marketing arena in real estate investing?
I guess pretty much marketing for any business is the same. So it was an easy transition. I learned about 21 years ago, people can't use you unless they know you exist. So I always have just been kind of creative with different marketing strategies and always trying to think out the box and try to come up with low cost, effective marketing strategies. So after the last 21 years getting into wholesaling and real estate, it was pretty much easy transition. I've done a lot of deals and investing in other businesses, and pretty much all that's the same across any industry. So, but once I got into real estate, it was like, okay, yeah, this is pretty much what I've done for 21 years. It's just a different industry. So it was, I think that's why we just clicked so easy and everything just came together so quickly.
Yeah. So if I looked at a pie chart of your whole business, the marketing side, I mean, what would each slice of it be marketing wise? So how much is it of direct mail, cold calling, code violations, things like that? How's your business set up on the marketing side?
Well, basically, once we get the lead in, we usually send out a ringless voicemail and a text at the same time. And then if they don't respond to that, then we'll go to a cold call. And then if they don't respond to that, we'll go to a postcard. So pretty much, and a lead is never dead until they say, hey, quit calling me, few cuss words in there, telling them to go someplace. But even then, we're coming back about a year later, knocking on the door again. Oh, they probably won't remember it by now. So we'll hit them again. Eventually they're gonna sell to us, get old or whatever. So we're gonna stay on them. But once they cuss us out, we'll lay off about a year, and then we'll, like I say, the lead is never dead.
I 100% agree with that. I take it a little farther than you. I've actually had deals before where the person basically told me to F off. I'm never selling my house to you. This has happened. They die. I mailed their the heir is technically a letter, and I buy their house. So it's just it's the way it works. Like that's my mindset in
Told
every
you I was
single
gonna
lead.
get that house.
I'm telling you, when I look at a house, I'm thinking I'm buying this thing. It's either between you selling it to me or it happens through probate, but it's gonna happen. So that is my mindset with every single lead, and I think it's a very toxic mindset to think if the person's not really interested now, I'm just gonna throw them off and call them in 6 months. It's a terrible mindset to be in.
Agreed.
So with lead generation though, so what is your top marketing channel?
Okay, for reaching out to the seller,
Yeah.
definitely texting by far. I mean, yeah, it's getting kind of, I guess, worse now because like AT&T has really started cracking down on text, actual text platforms. But still, by far, texting is. I mean, it's great.
Okay. And yeah, you're lucky now in RVMs. So in Florida, RVMs are actually illegal, and some big wholesalers are getting like what, like $1,500 per RVM they sent out as fines. Like you RVM one lawyer, you're in trouble. So
Wow.
that's Florida though. It's Florida.
Oh, it's
Man.
terrible.
I hope no other
Yeah.
states pick that up.
Yeah. Oh my
No,
God.
not. It's basically only Florida that's happened, and there's some pretty big guys that have had it and they've stopped. So, yeah, RVM's just got to be careful in Florida. I know California's starting to get a little iffy with it, but right now, I mean, the text blast it's been one of the best and cheapest channels that I've seen. So, I really want to transition now into so you're doing very well on the business side now of the wholesaling. You know, you're doing creative stuff. That's great. So can you tell me what happened to the creation of the education part of Wholesalementrary?
Right. They kind of go hand in hand. Of course, we're trying to teach people and so they can reach their dreams. But I guess also down that same line, as they learn more and start doing deals and need help with JVing, I guess that'll come back to us too. So it kind of go hand in hand. We're trying to get out here and teach people, but also I guess kind of grow the other side of the business too, and vice versa. We've found.
So it's a very creative name, Wholesalementrary. I mean, who came up with the name?
Yeah, I just got the marketing department. So over here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just thought about Rico, and I was like, he's a wholesaler, and let's create a documentary about, a full-time wholesaler. So Wholesalementrary. There you go.
Wow. So what is the eventual goal on it? Are you trying to just have a free platform for people to learn? Are you going to start creating courses, other parts about that? I mean, what's the goal for that platform?
Yeah, we've got some things in mind. Probably some workshops. Pretty much maybe down the line some books and such. But right now, just pretty much teaching for free, and we just started a partnership, which is kind of like a student partnership where they can partner with us, bring us the lead. We'll take it through our system. At the end, when we close the deal, they get 50% of it. But at the same time, we've taken their hand and teach them the whole process.
Wow. And so if someone wanted to do that, how would they get in hold of you?
Basically, we're phone call away, or just DM us on Instagram or contact us on YouTube.
Okay, all your socials are below you.
Yes, and we're pretty accessible. That's why we make these videos. That's why around hard.
Definitely. So your YouTube channel it's blowing up like crazy. It's doing very well. And I do recommend you guys check it out, Wholesalementrary on YouTube. He breaks down a lot of great topics, just the way that we do on this channel too, and on this podcast. So I definitely want you guys to check him out here. So let me ask you a couple more questions. You're obviously helping a lot of people out, and it's definitely coming back to you here. So what would you say is like the most important core value that you guys have in your business?
Probably honesty, man. I would
Mm.
say honesty. Um, if you have a partner, always be honest with your partner, and even going out getting deals and getting stuff on the contract. Be honest with the seller. Be honest with your buyer. It just makes everything more smoother. You know, you don't want to start create bad habits when you don't have to. So I would say just being honest, man, all the way around. Probably one of our core values.
Okay. And so you're doing very well in your market here, and you can obviously analyze some of the competition around it. I mean, what is the biggest problem you're seeing with other wholesalers in your market and around the country that they should probably start fixing?
That's kind of what you just said, not being honest.
Yeah. Yeah, that man. Seriously. I'll analyze a deal from somebody that calls. Hey, I need help. I'm like, okay, like tell me a little bit more about the situation. And I'm like, okay. I was like, so is this what you told the seller? And like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, we got to absolutely fix the else in the property, but the seller thinking that they're the ones buying the property, taking over the mortgage payments, making the payments, So I tell them, hey man, if you're putting someone else in this property, just tell the seller, because eventually, if if he does proceed to go with this, he's going to have to, the buyer's going to have to get in contact with the seller at one point. If he decides to, refinance on a loan or, take some equity out on the loan or whatever the case may be, he's going to have to get in contact with the seller at one point, the buyer that he's putting in the property. So, and it also helps him come out of being the middleman out of in the deal. It also lets him back out, and he's not like held responsible for anything. He can't be sued for nothing. You So always just being honest.
Yeah, we've even had some where the seller thought the wholesaler was going to outright buy the property, and it turned out to be a subject to. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
these guys out here are killing us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we had to come in and fix it, and Yeah.
So you guys are very motivated individuals, and that's why I want you guys on here. Guys seem very pumped up all the time. If you see some of your Instagram videos here, but I mean, when you guys get up, I mean, what pumps you up in the morning to get started and just go?
Well, I know I just love the process of being an entrepreneur. It could be anything, man. I could start a business shoveling doo doo. It's just the process of building a business and trying to think of, ideas to grow the business. Okay, wow, that worked out great, or maybe that idea didn't work out as great as I thought, or one that I thought was going to be mediocre, and it turned out to be a great idea for us. So, just the process, man. I just love it, man. I can't wait to get to the office and hey, Rico, all right, let's, it just loves the process of
I would say one of my I would say for me it would be, I'm a family man, okay? So if I'm not able to take care of my house, then it's gonna be rough on me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, I gotta get out here. I gotta do this for my family, do this for my partner because he has a family. So I'm like, that's my grind. That's my motivation every day, man. 'Cause ain't nobody gonna do it for you, man. Like I always say, you gotta work hard now to live your best future, man. And that's true. We gotta put things in place for our family so that they don't have to go through the struggles, that we went through. I mean, it's not really a struggle, but hey, if I can build this wholesale business up and making, millions, every year, and I can let my daughter and my son come in and take over, man, I'm gonna be the best dad in the world, man. I'm gonna feel so good. And they're gonna be the most happiest kids, but I want them to appreciate it too. Most definitely, I definitely want them to appreciate it. But I want them to take it even further than what I've already brought it up to. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
How old are your kids?
I have one that's 13. She's my oldest. She's a She's a hoop star, man. And I have a 5-year-old boy, 6-year-old boy. I'm sorry, 6-year-old boy. He's awesome. He's awesome. And then I have a 2-year-old little girl, man, that is very demanding. She knows what she wants. Yeah.
And you got any kids, Marshall?
Yes, I have one kid. Yes, 9-year-old. Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. Yeah, I have no kids. I'm not married, so I can't really say that it's a motivator for me. But just getting out there, getting those deals it's the best thing ever. But yeah, 13, you get started in real estate investing. Age can't be a factor on that.
Yeah,
that's how I got started.
Definitely.
I mean, just going to wrestling tournaments. Wow.
Good, man. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's my only regret. I didn't start any earlier, but it's not really the biggest deal in the world for me. But so when it comes to building a legacy for you, obviously you have kids. You want to pass something down to them, show them you're great business people. I mean, the biggest question I see in real estate investing for a lot of guys in your arena. So you're not new. You're doing a lot of deals. You're making good money. I mean, what are you doing with the profits of the business?
Well, pretty much, we do a lot of reinvesting right now. I mean, we have everything from other businesses and stocks and such, and pretty much, like I say, take care of our families and reinvesting in the actual real estate business to grow it for the future.
Okay. And do you guys have a 1, 5, and 10-year plan of where you both want to see each other and yourselves in the future?
Okay, I think you went out on us, Zach.
Yeah, no problem. Do you guys have a 1, 5, and 10-year plan on where you want to see yourselves in the future?
Yeah, man. So I think we're wanting to hit 1 million this year, man. That's our goal.
In wholesale fees?
In wholesale, yeah. And
okay.
Financing deals, yeah. That's our goal for a year. With the trajectory it's going now, that's our goal. 5 years, I think we're wanting to get in. I don't know if was it syndicating?
Yes.
Syndication? Yeah. We want to get into syndication. Grant Cardone, man, going out the blueprint, so we're gonna run with it, man. You know what I mean? 10 years, I don't know if we really touched on the 10.
Yeah, I know me personally.
Yeah.
I know this won't be my last business. I'm always looking for new investments and new businesses to be part of. But pretty much, I guess after at least about 5, I'll be like deeply with a business for about 3, 4, 5 years, and then once it gets kind of autopilot, I'll start looking for something else to be. Like I said, I just love the process. So probably about 5 years, probably looking to, if this is where we need it to be, probably we'll start looking in. And we've talked about partnering on other businesses, things down the road. So yeah, no telling where we're going to end up.
Definitely. I'm 100% committed to real estate investing myself. I feel like real estate investing and wholesaling is the only business where if you had $100 and you told me I had to turn that into 500,000, wholesaling is the only way to do it. I don't know of any other business you can really do that, unless you create like Apple or something. But
yeah, wholesale is a wonderful business. I've been in a lot of businesses, but nothing quite like wholesaling. It's special. Yes.
So many avenues in real estate alone, man.
It is. So this brings me to my last question. I ask everyone this. So I personally started about $200 in my bank account, starting my real estate investment company, and very successful with that down here in South Florida. I mean, if you guys were 17 years old again and you had $200 in your bank account, what would you guys do to become the next Rico and Marshall?
And I knew about
wholesaling wise. So what would your plan be? If you had $200, you had to make a living with that, and you were 17.
Oh yeah, and if I knew about wholesaling, it would definitely definitely be. I would learn all about it. See, and when I was 17, I didn't have YouTube and all that to learn from. But yeah, if I was
Well,
17
now,
now, oh yeah, with YouTube and $200 in my pocket, and I came across wholesale. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I would just
I would probably start with driving for dollars, man.
mhm.
I would,
that's
because our first deal landed with what was it, 78 or 178?
for
Your first deal. Your first deal.
yeah. I guess it was about 176 homes. On that 176th home that we had put on our list from Driving for Dollars, we got that $7,000 deal, and then it was around 250 something. We got our next deal, that was for the 86,000 Driving for Dollars.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you said, I would take that $200 and spend it on gas money and drive for dollars. Yep. It just keeps flipping it from there.
And are you guys using like a pen and paper, or using like a deal machine app?
Yeah, the deal machine. Yeah.
Okay, so that's helped you a lot in the business for Driving for Dollars.
Yes, that's what I mean. He told me about the old days of riding around the pen, which is totally fine if you don't have any money to work with. But yeah, personally, I use the deal machine, and just with my time, it's the greatest thing because when you're out there, you can plug in the property, send out that postcard, and when you get home, you're done with your work. You're not coming back home preparing letters or preparing postcards. So yeah, I mean that deal machine app, yeah, I give it 5 stars.
Okay.
All right, cool. So I really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast here, sharing your knowledge. Obviously, you have a very bright future with each other doing the business. You're just killing it out there. So I do recommend you guys check out Wholesalementrary and just follow them everywhere on their socials below and just get to know them. They're great guys. And if you have a deal, just reach out to them and partner up with them. I mean, learning from people like this is how you get better in real estate investing. So before we sign off here, do you guys have any parting words?
Like I tell everyone, you're gonna have your ups and downs in doing whatever, trying to reach your dream. Just never quit, man. If something gets in your way, just stop and just try to think of your way around. It's a way around everything. Like I said, I've been doing 21 years of business. I've had all kinds of ups and downs to where I just wanted to lay out on the floor and die. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, let me get myself together. Now, how do I get around this? So just never stop, man. Just never stop. And if you can, if you got somebody next to you, strong, if it's a good buddy or a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, try to get somebody around you and get all the negativity out of your life. People that's going to say, oh, you can't do it, or want you to come out and do, stuff that's never going to get you anywhere. I know me, I just got all that when I first began. I just got all that out of my life, man. And then after that, it's just never freaking give up, man.
I agree. I would say the same thing. I was watching something today, and the guy was saying that an alligator can kill a lion easily, right? He's like, but how can I kill an alligator or a crocodile with my bare hands? He says once he eats a big meal, they're pretty much static. They're not doing nothing. They're paralyzed. They're just there. So he's like, don't lose your hunger. You got to stay hungry. You got to keep that hunger, man. You got to keep grinding. So I was just to feed on what he said. Just you got it from day one. Don't let a deal stop you. You don't want to get a deal and just be like, oh, I'm moving in the money and just go chill. Nah, you want to keep the momentum going. Definitely keep that momentum going. The moment you take, slack, the moment you slack up, the moment that train stops going. So you want to keep fueling that train, man. So definitely, man, keep grinding.
Definitely. I mean, the only question you have to ask yourself here, guys, is what are you more scared of? A hungry tiger or a full tiger? Would you rather be in a cage with? And
I'm not
I would
trying
be
to
in a
see
cage with a
either
full
one of
tiger.
them.
You got a hungry tiger, you're in trouble. But
That's
yeah,
true.
so
That's true.
So I appreciate you guys coming on. You guys need to check out Wholesalementrary. Thank you again, Marshall and Rico, for coming on. And I can't wait to see in a year when you guys come back on your success and where your goals are going to lie. You know, if you can get through this whole coronavirus thing, you can get through basically anything in real estate investing. So I appreciate you guys coming on here, and I can't wait to see what's going on next week with the next guest. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys, and God bless. And
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you, Zach. We appreciate it.